Hi witches! So today I want to give a huge shout out to Crystal and Larissa who became patrons this week. Y'all are seriously making all of this possible. I'm actually going to be able to buy a new microphone at the beginning of next month, which is so exciting. So hopefully you won't hear as much traffic anymore. If you're not on my Patreon, don't worry, you're not missing anything beyond the videos here. There is some extra content, but I'm not going to put any of my daily videos behind a paywall, if that makes any sense. But we do other stuff like spell work. I'm going to be putting on some extra content. So right now there's a poll and my patrons are going to be able to pick kind of what I'm doing. And I'm also running an altar giveaway when we hit 50 patrons. So if that is something that interests you, I'm giving away an altar set for that. So yeah, definitely check it out. For today's video, I wanted to touch on some ways that you, as maybe a witch in the broom closet or a beginner witch, can cleanse your sacred space without using incense or burning herbs. For witches who are in the broom closet, this could be inaccessible. For people who have issues with smoke inhalation or asthma or something, that can also be really just not accessible. So I just want to give you some ways that you can keep your home nice and cleansed, so that way you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, so the first method that I want to talk about today is sound cleansing. And now there's something, at least to me, in opening up your windows and letting in a bunch of fresh air, and also the sound of birds and the wind rushing through the trees that really just makes me feel peaceful and nice. Now, these days, obviously, I kind of live in a more hustling and bustling area of town, but and there's way more cars than birds, but it's kind of the same thing. It's there's the energy of life thriving all around us that kind of eases the sense of heaviness in my home. So just opening up the windows, letting the light in is a simple, just low energy way to cleanse your house. It's kind of letting nature do your thing, especially if you kind of live in an area that's surrounded by nature a little bit more. Another way you could do sound cleansing is, playing music. So throw on your favorite song, your favorite playlist, and kind of dance and really raise energy in your house. I know it maybe sounds a little bit silly, but it works, honestly. Some people swear by using certain frequencies or megahertz to create a vibe, I guess, in the room, so you can do that as well. And there are playlists and stuff like that on Spotify, so if you look for healing frequency playlists, you'll probably be able to find something. And then finally, this is a method that I find most used in Wiccan traditions versus general witchcraft, but it's using a bell. So a bell is a tool used primarily by Wiccans. Anybody can use it in their witchcraft. I'm not saying it's only a Wiccan thing, but that generally signifies the beginning and the end of a ritual. So it works to cleanse the space at the beginning and cleanse the space at the end after all of that is dispelled, or all of the magic is done, dispel any lingering energy. The vibrations of the bell actually send out cleansing wavelengths and get rid of or stir up any kind of negative or stagnant energy that might be in your household. So bells work too, but if you're trying not to, draw too much attention to yourself, if you're in the broom closet, maybe just playing a specific cleansing playlist. This method is a little bit less inconspicuous, but it's using full moon water. The way I said that sounded like I was comparing full moon water to like 2% moon water. Anyways, there's a joke in there somewhere, but there is a full moon coming up. It's, I believe, on April 26th this month, and it's a super moon, so mark your calendars. But basically what you'll do is pour some water in a jar, charge it under the light of the moon. You can then transfer that water into a spritz bottle and kind of spray your room, and that moon water, the cleansing energy of the moon, will get rid of anything negative. You can also include herbs, so maybe rosemary or common sage, and crystals, kind of quartz or something like that. Those might help kind of amplify the energies. It's not necessary. A lot of craft stores and home goods stores, or Target even, they have these spritzers that look like botanical spritzers. I really want one for witchcraft specifically. So those are nice because they're glass and you can make your moon water directly in the spritzer and just use it. So there's less transferring and stuff like that. So that's a way that I would use, just common things that you can find out and about to do witchcraft. The next one that I want to recommend is an essential oil diffuser. So you can get these, I think I saw one for $15 at Target the other day, and I almost bought it, but something within me was just wait. So I don't know what that's about, but they're really popular right now. So it's a great way to use herb magic. It's a cleansing magic, especially if you're in the broom closet. Because they're so popular, chances are no one's gonna question it and be why are you you know, making your room smell nice with, oh, it's an essential oil thing. Tell me more about that. Like, I feel like that's more of the energy that goes towards like essential oils versus like incense, which is kind of like, I don't know. I feel like incense is a little mystical, right? So the next two things I'm going to talk about are maybe something that are more suited for witches who are not in the broom closet, but you can make your own adjustments as needed. The next thing I recommend is just to have like crystals and salt available. These materials are really great for cleansing tools and tarot decks, to be honest. Versus like a house, like a room cleansing, though they can be used for both creating salt circles, keeping crystals in a certain area, whatever. So like quartz is kind of like the universal crystal of like everything and everywhere. So I definitely recommend having that. But selenite is also a crystal that is used a lot for cleansing, especially cleansing tarot decks. And it is important to do that. If you're not familiar with tarot, energy can get built up in the cards and then they can kind of go haywire. So every so often you have to cleanse your deck, especially if other people are touching it. But anyways, I digress. Salts, on the other hand, are naturally purifying and pull negativity and admittedly moisture away from your tools and stuff like that. So they're good. It's good to like bury new tools in salt, kind of let all the negativity get drawn into the salt and then pitch the salt out. Luckily, salt is very accessible. You can find table salt literally at any grocery store. That method is better for tools like athames or a cauldron or a chalice or something like that. Whereas I feel like crystals, while they can be used for tools, are probably better for decks. Decks and salt probably don't mix too much. I feel like you would get salt everywhere. It's kind of messy, so. In all honesty, you can use either method for either thing. It's just up to you. The next thing is to use the element of fire. Fire is a very cleansing thing. So if you think about like cauterizing a wound, fire kind of helps heal everything up and make sure it's not getting infected. I'm not saying like set your house on fire, obviously, but like if you have a candle, you can cleanse something metal by putting the item through the flame of the candle, right? So especially if it's a white candle, this is super good for cleansing. I do this with all of my like protective jewelry. I will pass it through the flame of a candle to purify it, to cleanse it. I generally do like pass it through a representation of every single one of the elements, but I digress. If I'm going to dedicate something metal to one of my gods, I will briefly hold it over the flame of their candle, which is represented on my altar. So that way, like it's theirs. I don't know how to explain that. Anyways. We're going to be talking a lot more about deity work next month, and then we're going to be talking about like spellcraft and ritual crafting in June. So we'll get more into that kind of aspect of things, but fire can be used in a ritual space, and it's really cool when it can be. And the final method I want to talk to you today is a very like traditional witchy method, and that is using a besom or a broom to sweep out negative energy. I always recommend starting in like your house. If you have a house, start at the basement and work your way up towards like the front door, sweep everything out. If you're in an apartment like me, I just kind of start with the room that is furthest away from the main door and kind of work my way towards like the main door, sweeping everything out. So to do this, what you'll do is take your broom or your besom, and you're not actually going to like sweep like actual dirt. It's going to be kind of above the ground, right? But you're going to sweep all of the bad energy out of the house. Sweep out all of that stagnant stuff. You should feel much better pretty much immediately. I usually combine this method with actually cleansing, like cleaning my house, sound cleansing, i.e. putting on music, and also like just opening all my windows and stuff like that. So yeah, if you are going to sweep, most witches have their own like specific besom for this. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would recommend investing if that's kind of what you want to do. I hope this gives you guys some ideas. I know some people can be sensitive to smoke, and as witchy and like cool as it looks, I get it. Like my mom just can't do it. So I would love to hear about how you use these methods, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.